All right, we're live. Thanks everyone for not being here. We are doing the show. I'm doing the show solo today, so wanted to do a giveaway. Didn't want to kind of keep things consistent on Sunday, even though we usually do a Sunday morning show. Jason is not here today. He is with family, enjoying Easter Sunday. Happy Easter Sunday, everybody. Thanks for joining me for tonight's show. We're gonna keep this pretty quick. I wanted to do this show today specifically for the giveaway. The Spider-Man #7 variant cover that everybody and their mother wants to have. So let's get into the show. We got 3 live so far. Thanks for watching, and let's get into it. It would probably help if I plugged in my headset so you guys could hear me. So, yeah, again, thanks for watching, everyone. We got 1 live. What's going on, Michael Baker? Marvel Man Comics. What's up? Michael Baker. Hello. Eduardo Gutierrez. What up? What up? John Smith Pickles is he doesn't like me. No, I'm just kidding. He had some family stuff to get to. Again, sorry for the late start today. I just got back from a family trip over on the east side of Washington, but we are going to be talking today about Marvel specific Asian characters. I don't want to say specifically if they're going to MCU kind of rated, but I think the toughest thing right now is to speculate on newer stuff because of the previous backstory that current characters have. Like Spider-Man, the first appearance of Spider-Man's in ASM 15. No one's going to be able to just pick that off the rack or find it in a dollar bin somewhere. So it's kind of and another example is like Fantastic Four, Iron Man, go down the list. But what you can find are Asian specific Marvel characters that may or may not have an MCU appearance currently or in the future. It's kind of unknown there, but I figure if you can buy in, if I could kind of highlight some specific characters you could buy now, and who knows, 4 to 5 years from now, that book may be worth the same price they paid for it, or maybe a little more because of the kind of gravitating from the older Marvel characters to the newer ones now. It's just kind of where my mind's at with the show today. And then again, we're doing a giveaway today for the Spider-Man. Now, the way that the Spider-Man giveaway is going to work out is whoever is the first character that I talk about and the last one, you have to, so basically you have to stay for the whole show. You have to answer those 2 questions to be part of the giveaway. So unfortunately, if you're not in the show, before I start everything, I'm going to give some time for people to get in. You won't be able to enter the giveaway just because it's such a big book, and I'm basically giving away, $40 here. I pay cover price. I want to get back to the community, but at the same time, kind of make it fair to people that are watching the show, subscribing, liking the channel, all that good stuff. So if you guys would not mind liking, subscribing to the channel, I really appreciate it. It helps me do these shows. We grew from around 70 subscribers when we first started to now upwards of 205, which is pretty great. If you guys don't know, I'm also on another show called On the Radar Collectibles. I'm going to highlight them right here in a second. We also do shows on Mondays at 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern. It's not really specific to comic books per se. It's a little bit more On the Radar Collectibles, hence the name. But yeah, check us out. We just started the show. I want to say we're on episode 6 or 7. Tomorrow, hey Shiki, happy Easter. Tomorrow we're going to be having we're having a guest, or actually a guy who's going to be joining the lineup. His name's 78 Points of Articulation. So if you guys could join us tomorrow, that'd be really great. Should be a fairly quick show tomorrow, I think, as well. Just with the holiday, kind of threw everything off, so we couldn't really get a good outline out. But it'll be a fun show, like it is always. I don't know if we're doing a giveaway there tomorrow, but we'll see. And yeah, I just want to. How was your guys' Easter? Did everyone have a good time with Easter? South Park Brad's in the house. What's going on? Um, I know it's like 9:15 on the East Coast, so I'll try and keep this quick. But again, if you want to be part of the giveaway, the way it's going to work is you have to name off the first character I talk about and the last one, and then I'll enter you in the drawing. We have 9 live right now, so I'm doing the giveaway regardless. I'm not going to do like a minimum kind of amount of people to be in the show, but I do want to give a little bit more credit to people that actually are going to watch the whole show and not pop in at the end. I just don't think it's fair. But anyway, but that's great. Family and food is fun. I had a good time with family as well and all that good stuff. So, but before I start the show real quick, I wanted to kind of highlight some things that kind of went over as far as prices are concerned. As something I was kind of looking at the other day, meaning Saturday, which is yesterday. Kanan won in 9.8 specifically because this is a tough 9.8. Let's see here. This book, so number 6 is consistently around. It can go anywhere from 350 to 500 here. I don't know if that the best offer is actual $500 amount that the person got, but pretty good. This is kind of cool. Kanan last Padawan 1 through 12 sold for 550. But yeah, right here. Oh no, that's not it. Yeah, Kanan number 1, the second print went for around 300. I feel like, yeah, it's a quote unquote cameo, not a full appearance, but I prefer number 1 over the 6th issue. I don't know. The cover on number 1, especially the second print and the variant cover, I just feel it's a better buy. This guy right here. If I was gonna go into any of these books, I would go with this guy for sure. It's a little more expensive, but it's really tough in 9.8 as well. But just wanted to highlight that as well. I wonder if you guys, yeah, the second print of Kanan 1 is a good cover. What's going on? Wheelchair. If you guys aren't following Wheelchair Superhero 87, please do so. He has a pretty fun YouTube show. I've been watching his show live and trying to catch it on the radar there. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The cameos are hilarious. There was that Star Wars High Republic number, was it 2? It's a cameo, first appearance, whatever you want to call it, of new High Republic character. Like there's like 7 different there's like 7 different cameos in that character. Like I just cannot get behind it, and it's just ridiculous. I don't let's see here. Will we be going into Star Wars fever? I think so. I mean, I think I'm not really keen on the Star Wars High Republic. I think the Star Wars High Republic comic book was really mass printed. I have a couple number 1s and 9.8, and I accumulated those over the pandemic, but I think it's a little highly overprinted. It was a great marketing campaign to get the show kind of interest, amongst like hardcore collectors and fans, which I thought was a good thing. But I don't really know if it's gonna, if 9/8 of number 1 are gonna go for like $100, which is, I think, a fair price, or not a fair price, but a good investment if you held it over in the long term. But I don't know. I personally won't be really getting into that. So I know we'll see. But 13 live, we got 13 live. And again, I'll start the show in a little bit. But before I do that, I believe most of you guys are in here for the giveaway. It's already boxed up, ready to go. It's Spider-Man number 7? I can't remember. Spider-Man number 7, the first appearance of Spider-Boy, aka Bailey. We don't even know what the dude looks like without the mask. I was able to pick up an extra copy, and so I want to do a giveaway today. And again, the way the giveaway is going to work is you have to name the character I talk about first and mention the character I talk about at the end. So encourage everybody to stay in the whole entire time, participate, all that good stuff. Joe, you never gonna get my handouts. Never ever again. Just kidding. And thank you. Please make sure to smash that like button. And again, thanks so much, everybody, for joining me on a Sunday. Jason is at dinner. We kind of had our schedules kind of messed up today, but all that good stuff. So it's just me solo today. I hope you guys enjoy my solo rant here. And it's not a really rant, it's more of an informative kind of show today. So let's get into it. All right, top Asian characters for speculation. MCU, just a good damn read for cheap, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna start out. I'm gonna start out. There's no real particular order except for the first one, but I kind of the idea in my head with the show was just to highlight Marvel specific characters, not necessarily because like I am of Asian descent, but more so the modern comic book spec game is so hard right now because you buy a first appearance of a character in like 2018, and it's derived off of like, you know, another it's derived off of like a previous character. It's not really like an originality in my opinion. However, with these Asian characters, since we haven't really seen like a slew of Asian characters come out in the past 20 years for whatever reason, I noticed during the pandemic specifically that there was just a lot of Asian characters being put out and a lot of first appearances. So if you want to talk about slew of first appearances that are fairly inexpensive, why not go for it? The Asian market's an untapped market, aside from China, just with their regulations and you know, not being really cool with. Hey, what's up, Wade? How's it going? Yes, we are always official Gallon TV with slideshows. But yeah, so with the Chinese market not really being open to Marvel or, you know, whomever, wow, what's going on, brother? Good to see you in the chat. I'm so happy. That made the show for me today. So yeah. So anyway, so the Marvel characters, Chinese market isn't really, we don't really count them for right now. Maybe in the future we will. Hong Kong for sure. You want to count them, but Asia is just an untapped market. There's a lot of fans, oddly enough, in not just Japan, but Southeast Asia. I know the Philippines has a lot of great artists. And so if you just think about that, you know, it's all about representation. It's all about being able to kind of like equate to a different here to troll only. Please keep the trolls going. Thank you so much. If you have an island nation or a small sovereign nation of like 270 million people, you know, following one character in Marvel, they're going to follow other characters. So it just makes money sense. If you want to talk about corporate greed and all that, it makes sense to create an original Asian character, especially when the sheet is it's blank. I mean, there's just not a lot of them until now. So we're going to highlight only 5 or 6 specific ones that I know of. I know there's plenty more out there, but I just wanted to use these ones because it was easier to get some skin in the game. Gallon TV. My coworker is in India is a collector, and it said it's hard to get books there because shipping is so expensive. Now, I think if Marvel or DC was smart, they would figure a way out to print books in other countries, and then the collectability for collectors the foreign market, quote unquote, would be even crazier for that. Rob's Comics is my dude who does international stuff. So, but no, it's if the demand is there, if people want to buy, like your friend in India that is a collector, they're going to catch on to it, and then Marvel's going to try and make money that way. And yes, I wouldn't say necessarily. Yeah, I would say if they make an Asian spider character, this Bailey guy, I'm going to be pissed. Like, I just want more originality, you know, that kind of thing, and just create a new character. It's not hard. Just pick a country, like literally, freaking Australia. Like I don't even know any of Australian Marvel characters, but anyway, let's see here. So here's my first. Okay, again, you guys are gonna want to pay attention. The first character you're gonna want to remember, and oh man, that's crazy. Only 90s prior and stuff. Would be way better and interesting. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so pay attention to the characters I talk about because that will be part of the giveaway for the Spider-Man 6 comic book 7. I don't even know what book it is or whatever. So give me 1 second here, guys. Cool. All right. So Spider-Man is all the rage lately with Star Wars and Blue Beetle. There is a slew of freaking just first appearances and news today, which is great. It makes the hobby exciting. It makes the stories sort of exciting, stuff to look at. But with that, I kind of want to pivot away from that. Thanks. I always try and swerve other ways that people are looking. It's just like when I invest in like just stuff. I don't like to follow the crowd, essentially. Oh, what's up, Trey? What's going on, man? Thanks for joining. So I want to talk about Asian characters. I've talked about Swordmaster ad nauseum in my shows before, but I wanted to just kind of go the overall kind of deal and just talk about every character that I'm just kind of following or whatever. So let's get into it. 15 minutes in again. Thanks everybody for watching. We have 16 live. Again, please pay attention to the characters that we're talking about today, because if you want to be part of the giveaway for that Spider-Man 7, sorry, I keep forgetting. You're going to want to know what these characters are. Otherwise, you won't be able to be entered in the giveaway. So, pretty obvious one. Shang-Chi is like Shang-Chi. Excuse me. He is like the Iron Man, the Captain America of like the Asian kind of like market, right? Shang-Chi movie came out. I wouldn't say it was one of my favorites, but I thought it was really well done. The storyline and the beauty of that movie was really cool. And yeah, thanks guys. Like, subscribe, and follow. I appreciate y'all. Yeah. And I'm gonna put our quote. I'm gonna put the OTR link in our Discord or in the chat there again. We're doing a show tomorrow. Should be good. But anyway, back to Shang-Chi. So Shang-Chi, he's obviously the dude. Simu Liu was awesome in the show. I really dug him as well. She geek. And we're going back in the 70s. Master of Kung Fu number 15. Yeah, number 15. Sorry, I always think it's 16 for some reason. That was the first appearance of Shang-Chi. And on the cover there, you have Shang-Chi. You also have the Mandarin, who was obviously in the Shang-Chi movie. Kind of retconned a little bit. I liked how they made him the dad of Shang-Chi, kind of that old school, like safe kind of, oh shoot, it's my dad's the villain that I'm fighting against. I thought it was kind of cool. But yeah, so the first appearance of Shang-Chi, I know in 9.8 went for like, God, 18K or something. Which, if you really think about it, if Shang-Chi is going to be a mainstay for the next like 5 or 6 years, it's a 1970s book, and 9.8 really isn't like 18 grand isn't like a crazy number for the long term for the next like 50 years, right? I'm really sorry, man. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to ruin it for you. However, you can buy like a 7.0, 6.0 for $400 to $500. I mean, you're probably not trying to get 9.8 if you're trying to like make money on the book, right? But dude, like $400 to $500 for a 7.0 1970s quote unquote silver bronze age book that has a future, where meaning that the character has movies that are coming in, maybe 10 years from now, that's going to be like some 12-year-old's like Grail book that they just grew up on. That's a really low buy-in for a 6.0, 7.0 book from what I've seen. The stories, like the arts, varies from the more modern versions to like the old school stuff, but the story it sticks pretty well. I think it does. It really does. And the other, so in my slides here, I'm obviously going with probably the most expensive comic book for these characters, but I also wanted to like just show off, more with the depth that are on tap, please. Yes. Hey, what up, Nick's Comics? Write down this character, everybody, if you want to be entered in the giveaway. But I wanted to also highlight not just the first appearance. Not everyone's got like $1,000 to like throw down on a first appearance of a Silver Age book, but also just some low-hanging fruit for other issues to look out for, in my opinion. So Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, it's a Marvel Max series. This came out, I want to say like in the mid 2000s. If anyone knows in the chat, like please Please help me out a little bit. Yes, Nick is the man. We'll watch him on Thursdays. I always catch him on Thursdays during the day, and I love it. Otis Jordan, thanks for coming out, man. But yeah, so I don't know what the future characters are going to do. If Trey's in the chat, his argument against Miles Morales is always like who's Miles' enemy. No one can really name the specific enemy for Miles. Well, Shang-Chi's enemy in the movies, he died. Mandarin's dead. It's his dad. It wasn't really like his enemy. It was kind of just like, I don't know. It was his enemy originally, but then it kind of turned into just like, I just misunderstood you, dad. That kind of thing. But Shang-Chi Master of Kung Fu #1 is the first appearance of Shang-Chi's half-brother, who's ordered to kill his brother. Could be an antagonist. I don't know if he's in dollar bins. It's tough and high grade. This Max series came out a long time ago. But if you find it for like $2 or $3, you know how the game works. And the Marvel Max series is like just all of them are really cool. Just kind of they were kind of cool. They were kind of cool comics to read, I thought, back in the day. But and Michael Baker spin out some knowledge here. So special Marvel edition number 15 and CGC 9.8 are down big. Good to know. Last couple of sales on Heritage, 7,500 to 5,160. Now, how cool would it be to have a 9.8 for like $4,000? If you got $4,000 to spend and you're kind of speculating, it's kind of like, would you rather have 4 copies of Shang-Chi #1 and 9. Or Shang-Chi first appearance 9.8, or Amazing Spider-Man, or 2 copies of ASM 300 and 9.8 normal? There's a Mark Jewelers variant, by the way, too, of Master of Kung Fu. That might be a nice one to get to. But anyway, yeah. So, and then this beautiful Shang-Chi Virgin. I just love the cover. It's a Virgin cover. It was done by In-Hyuk Lee. It's just a filthy cover. I forget what year it is, but I'm sure if you check your favorite app, it will have it'll specify what actual year that Shang-Chi #1 came out. But it's a tough high grade. I sent it in for the signing. What's kind of cool is if you send this into In-Hyuk Lee, you can ask him to sign it in Mandarin. He didn't sign in Mandarin for my comic book, but oh well, it is what it is. And yes, his work is really amazing. I have a Secret Avengers number 18. Captain America refers to Shang-Chi as an Avenger. Super cheap. She Geek. I remember when that comic book was going for like $30, and Shang-Chi's a pretty cheap, inexpensive character to like collect, kind of like the pseudo kind of like minor spec, like him being like part of the Avengers. And if you can find that book for $2 or $3, like why not? Hold on to it until 3 years or whatever. I honestly think that Marvel, there's, with the unsuccess of the current shows and movies, Marvel's going to be like, man, we can't keep this plant. We got to switch up something. So there's going to be, I think, some rumblings in the near future for Marvel. So get this stuff cheap and just kind of be aware that low buy-in for possible like ×5 return. So 18 live. And again, remember, Shang-Chi is the first character I talked about if you want to be part of the giveaway. So Chaos King. No, you're not. Stop it. Chaos King Amatsu Mikabushi. I apologize for if I butchered that, but Chaos King. He's an omega level legit character. His first appearances in Thor Blood Oath number 6, I believe 5 or 6. I can't remember. You can buy the whole set of that series for like $15. So be on the lookout for that. He's kind of I would say, as far as MCU spec, I would say probably 20% to 2 out of 10 as far as like him being the MCU. I just thought he was a really cool Asian villain, and he's an omega level mutant or omega level character. I always like getting like omega level like characters. And I thought for like a sweet entry into that and him being a villain, because I could not find any villains that are Asian characters, I thought it was really cool to find this guy out. Yeah, trying to, man. I just ran into this guy because I was looking at omega level characters, And yeah, I mean, if you're actually reading comic books, this might be a nice one to pick up. Cheap speculation. And again, the only reason I found him was because I couldn't find any real good villains to speculate on, or just to like that were interesting to me. It feels like that a lot of Asian villains just they're alive in one episode or one issue, and they die after the sixth one. There's no real consistency, or like they're kind of in the background, but they're not like having an appearance yet. Yeah, dude, totally looks like a Spider-Man villain or a Spawn villain. Yeah. I don't know what his power is. The description I have to read. I haven't read this issue yet, but the description of him is that he's not a villain into where he wants to rule people. He just wants to destroy everything. So he's just, that's why he's called the Chaos King. It's pretty crazy, but true. Anything is possible. Super random character. That's why it's kind of hard to like really like speculate, right? Like we don't know what characters are actually going to make it to film or going to be written about next. And even if they make it to film, which is kind of what I'm seeing right now, is like, even if a character makes it to film, it's kind of like, if they don't hit like every single like note with the audience, your spec is done, right? They have to either have a future, or they have to have like a really like, oh, that actress did a really good job, or I really related to that character, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, it totally reminded me of a Marvel symbiote as well. I agree. Yeah, so we are almost a half hour into the show. Thanks again for joining me on a Sunday, Easter Sunday, late 18 live. We're going on to the third character. Let's get going. I miss Null so much. I know people hated on Null, and people were like, "Oh, Null's dumb. Like he's only a speculation character, yada yada." But dude, I loved Null. I was so sad at the Keaton Black series, like that. It started 1 through 3 was awesome, and then it just dove. And the way he died was just the dumbest thing ever. It's like, I feel like the writer just gave up. He was like, I'm tired. But that whole, like, that's how comic books should be written. You should have like an event that's like gonna spawn a year after and just kind of culminate the whole entire universe. Not like 3 every year. I miss that. Yeah. Yeah, Noel was awesome. It's funny because like he made like Kate's created an awesome character, and then he just ruined it. You know what I mean? So I remember I tweeted Donnie Cates back in the day, and I said, "Is Null ever going to come back?" And this is what he tweeted back. He tweeted back to me. He said, "Nothing dark ever dies." And yes, James, there's no freaking way he can stick a landing. And yes, John Smith, Null has a lot of potential. They need to give him another writer. And I wonder like who would write Null that would make him really great. Jeff Lemire, not Phil Noto. I don't know, maybe Jeff Lemire. Okay, if Jeff Lemire wrote a Null series because he did so well with Sentry, I would read it for sure. Tony loves the heroin. Scott Snyder? Huh. Okay, I didn't think of that. I don't realize Scott Snyder, so that's an interesting one. Jason Aaron? Jason Arab? Jason Aaron, probably. Okay, so this guy, Ram V. I didn't think of that. Ram V is like on the hot. I've read Ram V issues. I just never knew I did. It's just kind of funny, but Taiwan or Taguchi is this guy, a Korean superhero. But I love Lemire, man. Okay, cool. Didn't know that. I don't read Ghost Rider, but this guy. So this is like a combination of like collecting gold and like, yeah, what I'm trying to say, collecting gold and kind of like an under the radar character that came out in a third issue, which probably people weren't really paying attention to. Who was buying Taskmaster? Who is buying Taskmaster? Period. Back when this comic book came out, like, be honest, who had Taskmaster on their pull list, or like, I can't wait to get Taskmaster when it came out? I definitely wasn't. There's a reason why none of those books sell for anything. However, the third issue of Taskmaster 3 is the first appearance of Taiwan, aka Taguchi. He's a Korean superstar. He's a Korean superhero who's been compared to Sentry and Adam Legend of the Blue Marvel. Now, his first appearance is in Taskmaster 3. I didn't put the cover A on this guy. Oh, bro, never mind. you did. What up, Empire Comics? What's going on? So you know what? I'm gonna doing 2 giveaways today. I'm doing one for the Spider-Man. If you weren't able to chime in the beginning, then you won't be able to know what to do for the Spider-Man. But for everyone else, I will do another giveaway. No problem. Yeah, so that's pretty funny. There is a store variant, and this is actually the store variant that I have here. But yeah, so Taskmaster 3, 1 in 25 is the one we see here. It's a beautiful cover. I've bought like 3 trying to get 9.8, and every single one I just can't. It's like my Eleanor. I cannot get a 9.8 in this book. However, it goes for like, I think one raw today went for $182 I was trying to buy, or $250, I'm sorry. So it's really low print. 9.8s go for like, I mean, people are asking $800 for it. I think that's more of like a, if I sold it at this price, I would buy it. I don't think it's really worth that much. But the interesting thing about when you're doing spec, it's like, okay, if a character shows up when it first appearance, that's great. But if there's nothing past that, it's a bad spec, right? Taskmaster, or Taguchi, sorry, is in Tiger Division 1. And the reason I said, oh, pick up Tiger Division 1 is this Tiger Division, it's a team of Asian heroes. That wasn't the reason why I'm saying pick up this book. But essentially, Tiger Division 1 through, I think 4, we're on issue 4 now. It's basically his origin story and how he became basically this bad kid. And him and his brother were basically really poor, and they went around the streets of South Korea. I don't know what exact city they were in, but they're bad kids. And at one point, he had to make a choice. I'm either going to be a good person and use my powers to, fight good, or I'm going to be part of a gang. And he chose the latter because he witnessed a neighbor of his being robbed, and he wasn't cool with it. So anyway, it's not over yet, but there's a potential villain for Taguchi, which is his brother, who is now leader of this like really bad gang and all this stuff, whatever. So really, really cool story. If you think Taguchi who's aka or a South Korean superhero, you want to go with the 1 in 25 Taskmaster 3. This is the Wonder World interior cover, second printing. It goes for like $10 to $19. I think you can buy 9.8s for like $50. That might not be a bad proposition. And then just for the knowledge, or like maybe basic spec for villains in regards to Taguchi, Tiger Division, just the series, just pick it up. It's cover price. Maybe buy a set for like, undercover price. It's a good story. It's on my pull list, and I know a lot of people are that maybe we're looking for a good read. Like Tiger Division is pretty cool. It's right now it's kind of focusing specifically on Taguchi, but there's other characters on the team that are like White Box, who's on the cover there, that are pretty cool to spec on as well. So, and then there's a slew of first appearances in this book, but what I noticed when this book first came out, and I knew about it because a relative told me about this book, right? I don't know. They need a lot of work to do on him. To do on Taguchi, probably, right? I mean, there's not enough, and all these. And here's the other thing too. So we always complain about like, oh, I missed the boat on these characters and all this stuff. You can still get origin stories and first, second, whatever appearances I'm talking about for under $50 to $100. Like that Tiger Division 1 still cover price. The Shang-Chi book I was talking about earlier, which Shang-Chi was my first comic that I mentioned, by the way. Hint, hint. You can get these books for really inexpensive. So, if you missed the first part of the show, watch the rewind and just kind of, I talk about just previous other characters that you can get kind of lower buy-in and kind of go over a little bit of prices. And then chat as well, which I do appreciate the chat going through that. But Yeah, Wave, first Filipino heroine. The Philippines specifically, we're talking about the Philippines specifically, is probably, other than Japan and China, I would say the third most important market. And I'm not just saying that because I'm biased, because of the pure love for Americana and the pure love for comic books there. Filipinos love comic books, and they love specifically Marvel comic books. Their artists are from the Philippines. There's a lot of great artists, Carlos Paguyan, Miko Soyan. I could go down the list. Chat, you probably know a lot more than me. Okay, thanks for coming through, Wheelchair. Again, everyone in the chat, please follow my homie Wheelchair Hero. Happy Easter and happy birthday. If that's for your birthday, I'm not sure if it's yours, but happy birthday, my friend. Thanks for coming out. Yeah, so this is the first appearance of a bunch of heroines, but we're specifically Portacio. There you go. I don't know why I always forget his name, but I wasn't really into him back in the day. But we're talking about Wave here. So the first cover there is New Agents of Atlas #1. Goes for around 20 to 30 bucks. I would just get a 9.8 for 100 bucks and just put it away in like a CGC box until these Southeast Asian characters come to light. The middle two are store exclusives. Now, I don't like buying store exclusives unless it's from a shop in the Philippines that's talking about a first appearance character. That cover was done by Miko Suyan, who is of Filipino descent. Initially, when these comic books came out, they were going for like around 25 to 200 bucks, which is this is 2019, so it's pre-pandemic, right? 2018, 2019. People are not selling these books. The cover A, so the one, the trade dress, there's 2,000 copies out there. The version, there's only 1,000 copies. I have 3. They're all signed and all 9.8. So I'm putting them away in my not safe deposit box, but like my long-term investment box. You had the Filipino flag along with Wave, kind of like in the oceans of Mactan, which is also Cebu. I'll be there in July if y'all want to visit me or come through on our wedding. Just kidding. And immediately after this book came out, my grandmother lived in a heavy Filipino neighborhood in upstate New York while I was growing up. Man, you probably ate Hella Lumpia, or grandma probably ate Hella Lumpia, sinigang, and probably a lot of balut. If you don't know what that is, tell her to ask her Filipino friends. Those are pretty expensive buy-ins for the middle comic books. If you're speculating on short print run and Wave as a character and kind of a collaboration with Arrow, who is another Asian character whose first appearances is also in New Agents of Atlas #1. This is, I believe, I want to say a 1 in 25 or second print. I can't remember. Sorry, I was up late doing these slides, but you can find that book for like 10 to 20 bucks. And it's Arrow's first solo series, but Wave is kind of like along with her for the ride. I think the print run's like 4,500 copies. No one was buying Arrow #1s back then. So if you want a cheap buy-in, pay 10 bucks for this book, slab it, get 9.8, hopefully. Oh, it's a second print? Okay, cool. I know for sure that the second print, because I asked a local comic book store, they said, yeah, no one was buying second prints of that Arrow book specifically. Thank you, Marvel Man Comics. I appreciate you, man. Oh, sweet. Even better. I can't. I have tried to get 9.8 out of that book. I'm 0 for 2 so far. So I'm trying to find a good copy that I can actually look at personally before I try and get a 9.8 again. But I do have these books. I do have this one. The ones in the previous sites that I've talked about, I've had this one before. I've sold it off because I'm a 9.8 snob. Thank you, Trey. I appreciate you. And I have 3 copies of this, and I just love reading this book. And then I'm gonna read this tonight. Sorry, I couldn't read this right away. And then I do have all 3 of these as well. So when you go on shows and you're like, does this guy even have this stuff? I do. I'm not selling them. I'm not trying to push them on anybody like other shows do. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but I'm trying to just tell you guys, 1, that this is the information about the show, and then 2, that I have these books, and 3, I'm not trying to peddle these off and like sell them on my eBay links. I don't do that. I think I'm not Jim Cramer. I'm not Goldman Sachs. I'm not trying to pawn off like crap on people. If I fail, you fail too. So let's fail together. And I don't know if this is my last one. Okay, never mind. I got a couple left. So pretty sure. Yeah. Fuck all them shows except for this one, Trey. Link in the bio. Or link in the chat right there. This is a good show right here. Anyway. White Fox, this is a pretty easy one. Again, South Korean, I believe. Origin. This is another one of those comic books, along with the Taguchi first appearance, where that Contest of Champions 1 in 25, 1 in 50, I can't remember, is so tough in 9.8 that I would not sell for under $1,000 today. I'm not saying that White Fox is going to make it in the MCU, but the chances for her, I think, are like 70%. She's female, easy to cast that. She hits a good community, and I don't know her power, so I don't really know a lot about her because I haven't read enough Origin because I've been very heavy on other characters that like I want to know about. But the Contest of Champions number 1 in 25 is definitely the one to get. Again, it's a really tough 9.8. I think Raws go for around 89 to 150. There's a lot of color rub on that. Yes, sir, Dino. Yes, she is smooth. Interesting enough, when I was researching, she shows up and is featured a lot in time. Okay, Marvel Comics 8. So the comic book in the middle that goes for around $4 or $5 is her first solo kind of story. So what I mean by that is Contest of Champions she's in, but she's in with a bunch of other characters. So she's not really centralized. So you don't really get to know a lot about her. I don't have that comic. I'm currently on the hunt for it, meaning it's probably easy to get because that Marvel Comics Presents, other than the first appearance of Wolverine's like 11th daughter, isn't it? I'm sure you could find that somewhere just to read. I really like the far right In-hyuk Lee. I think you can see a trend. The Virgin White Fox Presents cover. It's an Origin comic book of hers. Yes, I didn't read it because I couldn't find a trade dress. All I could find was the Virgin, and I didn't want to read it. But I plan to read. I just got to get my Marvel stuff. But I've been reading her. There's another book you can get as well. And you know what? If I can find it, I'll do a giveaway for it later on. But it's Doctor Strange, Death of Doctor Strange, White Fox. It's an origin story of White Fox, and it's how Lin-Lee becomes the Iron Fist. So it's a double kind of like spec in one book. It's just a really good freaking read. There's 3 different covers. I think you can still buy them for $3. I know Dollar talked about them as well as far as Origin is concerned. But yeah, it's a really good story. But these 3 I want to highlight just because you had the first one, Contest of Champions number 1. It's 1 in 25. It's really expensive. So if you really believe in the character, get that guy. If you want to speculate, kind of cheap stuff, Marvel Comics Presents. I think that's a good just knowledge wise, it's a good one. I was gonna put Doctor Strange, Death of Doctor Strange, White Fox, but that's another good speculative, cheap entry in knowledgeable comic book to read. It's her origin, basically how she becomes the White Fox. And then the Un-hyuk Lee, it's just like if you're a fan if you're a fan of the character, it's a beautiful book to have. So anyway, and then I think this is our last one. No, never mind. Okay, I'm gonna leave these last 2, and then we'll do the giveaway. Are kind of my 2 that I'm most confident on as far as like the Shang-Chi, I'll just get into it. Excuse me. Hold on a second. Okay, Swordmaster. If you guys have watched my shows in the past, you know I love Swordmaster. If you haven't watched my shows in the past, please rewind, watch the old live shows. I do a Swordmaster kind of synopsis with Jason, or aka Pickles Nichols, and we go a deep dive into Swordmaster. I don't personally care if Swordmaster ever makes an MCU. I think it'd be cool, but he'd be one of those characters where I'd be like, you better do him right because I'm a total fanboy. And I'd be really upset if he wasn't done well. If Shang-Chi is the Batman of the Marvel Asian Cinematic Universe, this is Nightwing / Robin. Currently, in past comics, Shang-Chi has either guided Swordmaster Lin-Lee or Lin Lee's kind of shown up like with questions or just like, how do I do this? How do I defend so and so, or like, you know, whatever. Swordmaster 1 through 12 is just basically like it's a journey for him into becoming like this regular like nerdy kid into Swordmaster, and he's kind of forced into it. His first appearance though is not in Swordmaster, and didn't realize. Oh, Swordmaster is sick. Didn't realize that Marvel had this many Asian characters. Knowledge. Thank you. Yeah, you know, I didn't even do all of the characters. I just didn't want. I kind of want to do the ones that are easiest to find like information on. But if you want to just read and figure out, okay, who are the Asian characters that Ferd's talking about, or just that Marvel is really trying to focus on, buy the trade paperback to War of the Realms, New Ages of Atlas 1 through 5. You will figure out where Marvel got together and said, hey, we got to concentrate on these guys. We got to create a couple of new characters and throw them in because we need that. We need to segment that market and get a hold of it. And Michael, dude, seriously, I'm not trying to promote myself, but I am. Watch our Swordmaster show, and you will be like, okay, I get it. I get why these guys like Swordmaster. So this is the Ron Lim variant, New Ages of Atlas #2. It's a 1 in 25. So I don't know the print run of this book, but there weren't a lot of copies ordered of this run. It's a thicker book. It's a little bit thicker, and there's a little bit of color rub on the back. So it's another tough 9.8. They go for quite a bit. And Swordmaster is greater than Swordsman, that's for sure. But again, you guys are getting like first appearances of brand new characters. There wasn't a Swordmaster in 1970. He just started like 4 years ago. So to pay like $200 for a 9.8 or like $400 for a 9.8, that the tea leaves are like, we really want to make this the future guy of, or possibly one of the future characters of the MCU or Marvel in general. It's not a bad buy, you know. He's kind of a cool superhero that has really grown in character and is now, if you guys aren't reading Swordmaster, spoiler alert, he is the Iron Fist. Now, even though I've just prefaced you guys that he becomes the Iron Fist, the journey, like the character growth from Swordmaster 1, not so much his first appearance, to Iron Fist number 5 or 6 or whatever it was, it's such a character development. Like he becomes like this wussy little kid to like a freaking badass. And I'm gonna highlight this again. It's like he becomes Cloud in Iron Fist, but in Swordmaster the series, he's like that wimpy, quote unquote, like Asian guy. He's like the typical like wimpy Asian guy that doesn't know how to fight. And it's a really anyway, watch my Swordmaster show. I don't want to get into it because it'll be another hour of me just blabbing on about Swordmaster. But anyway, and then kind of what I was talking about earlier, Doctor Strange, Death of Doctor Strange, White Fox. It's kind of the explanation of how Lin Lee, Swordmaster, becomes the Iron Fist and replaces Danny Rand. I was never an Iron Fist like fan, just because I didn't really care if he was white or not. I just didn't really dig the character. And then the Netflix show just like totally just ruined it for me. And this is kind of why I think it's like an 80% chance that Swordmaster will make it to the MCU if the comic books kind of follow. There's no Iron Fist. There's no Danny Rand. It's not coming back to the MCU. So if they do bring back an Iron Fist, which is possible, he could be in the moniker of Lin Lee, and it would make sense if you're reading comic books right now, it would make sense. So anyway, 50 minutes in, we got 17 live. We're up to 20. Thanks again, everybody, for watching today. I really appreciate it. And yes, I'm going to do 2 different giveaways. I'm going to do a giveaway to people that came in kind of late. I got to reward everyone that came in early for the Spider-Man book. But the way the Spider-Man book is going to work is if you were in the beginning of the show and you basically have to label off who I talked about first and then this character who we're finishing off with today. Never mind. We have 2 more. Sorry. God damn it, guys. Thanks, man. I appreciate you coming through. Totally Awesome Hulk. He's kind of an easy one. So he's like 90%, 9 out of 10, like gonna make it to the MCU. His mom is actually already in the MCU. Yes, She Geek, because it is Easter. Shang-Chi and Swordmasters. Yeah. I think, it's, and that's why I'm like 70% like, gonna think it's more wishful thinking on my part as a fan. A Totally Awesome Hulk, Amadeus Cho, Dr. Cho, his mom, is actually in Iron Man 2, right? Iron Man 2, Age of Ultron. She's the doctor that Ultron kills right before Vision is created. Her name is Dr. Cho. If you look at the subtitles, it's Dr. Cho. So if that's not an Easter egg, if that's not an Easter egg, I don't know what else is. But there's a strong case that Amadeus Cho will make it. He's kind of the leader of another Asian team, and he's also New Agents of Atlas. I don't know if they're gonna actually make a Southeast Asian team. If they're gonna go Agents of Atlas. Are they gonna go the Protectors? They could kind of do Champions. I don't really know, but Amadeus Cho is a leader in each one of those teams. So, with all that said, She Geek. That is a tough book to find, She Geek. It's a tough high grade, and it's tough to find because it's a. I'll talk about it in a second, but anyway, Totally Awesome Hulk, Amadeus Cho's first appearance is an Amazing Fantasy number 15. It is a thick book. He's like on 2 panels. It's kind of expensive, but it's come down quite a bit. You could find a 9.6 for like $200 and try and CPR it, but the newsstand is like the gem to get. It's a 2005 book, so it's pretty tough. Okay, too. I'm gonna bump it up to 100%. But yeah. So yeah, there you go. And then I like this cover. It's the first appearance of the Protectors, Totally Awesome Hulk number 15. So you have a not highly ordered book. You have a 1 in 25 or 15, I can't remember, of issue 15, which we know as the books go or the issues go further down, the lesser ordered, because no one's ordering as many. So I really like that book. I remember back in the day, people were trying to sell this in 9.8 for like $1,000. You can find one now for like raw. You could find one for, I don't know, 200. I bought a 9.8 actually for $350. I got really lucky. I don't know how I did it, but I probably wouldn't buy more than one. I'm happy to get that one copy, but the Incredible Hulk number 100 from like 2008, 2009. That's the second appearance of Amadeus Cho. It's a thicker book too. That goes for like $5. So if you're like, oh, I'll go with the second appearance, get that issue. It's a lot better. And then the Incredible Hercules number 100. Oddly enough, if you look through that series, there's a lot of Amadeus Cho throughout the Incredible Hercules. I don't know why, but there's our first meetup between Amadeus Cho and the Hulk in like issue 106, I want to say. I don't really do meetups anymore. It's not really my thing, but the specific thing about this book is it's Amadeus Cho's origin and how it becomes Incredible Hulk. And that cover's sick, man. I mean, if you got it like She Geek, yeah, try find this in back issue bins, man. Like people are asking like 10 to 15 for it. And in Origin to me, like first appearance is always good, but Origin's almost like it's almost better, like when it comes to like actually reading a comic book. I love origin stories of books, and I prefer reading those versus getting a first appearance and just as a reader. So anyway, good job, She Geek. That's a really nice pickup. Oh yeah, you're welcome, man. I think I sent you like a 9.6 or something. I can't remember. I was feeling really generous that day. and then last but not least, we have Silk. So I honestly can't remember if she's in Into the Spider-Verse. I don't really I couldn't follow all the different Spider-Verse or Spider-Man in that book, but it was a cool trailer, but I just couldn't keep up with it and I wasn't trying to. But so Silk is the heroine, which is currently leading the Spider-Man 22 run. I know. So I wanted to highlight her because I'm actually reading Spider-Man, the Dan Slott You guys can give me shit for reading it, but like I really liked it just because of Moreland. They brought Moreland back, and he was kind of a character that I was like, man, that's a badass villain. Where the hell is he? And so now that they reintroduced him in Spider-Man 1, I was like, oh, like sign me up because I want to know. I want to see Moreland again and kind of see his like powers and stuff. Well, spoiler alert: if you haven't read Spider-Man 7, he's like basically like dying in the last issue. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. You guys don't read books. Just kidding. Anyway, so she's in the Spider-Verse already, supposedly. So she's already in. So like she's confirmed. There's no denying that she's in the Spider-Verse. ASM issue or volume like 15, whatever, from the 2016 run is her first appearance. This is why. Okay, so I'm not saying buy this book personally. I'm not, because she shows up in the first issue. She has a cameo in the second one and the third one, and then she gets bitten in the fourth one. So this is kind of something I found out from the pandemic 2020, 2019, 2021 throughout comics that really like kind of annoyed me was when there was multiple appearances of a comic book, the market was kind of confused on what was actually the book to get. And I know I'm just messing with y'all. But no, for real though, like people would say, no, that's the cameo. She's on this panel. But other people would say like, well, she has a first full appearance here, or she's only named in that book. She actually becomes the character in this book. And so it was kind of like, well, if I was a betting man, I bet you people were like trying to push. If I got 15 covers of ASM number 2, and that's her cameo appearance or whatever first appearance you want to call it, they're going to push that book. But like for me, it's when the character isn't named. It's when they actually become that villain, that heroine, that hero, right? That's just kind of my opinion. But whenever you're like quote unquote investing, you're not really a fan of the book. Like I just don't even like try and like I don't even try and buy any of the cameos or the first full appearance, because there's too much arguments between which is which and which is worth more, and stupid. It's this bad investing, right? Why would you want to own a tier 2 Tesla? You want to own the number 1, and that kind of thing. So anyway, that's my rant for investing in books. So I'm currently not invested in this book. It's just out there for you guys' information to do what you want with it. The middle book is Spider Women number 1 Alpha, I think it is. That is the ratio variant. Goes for a lot. A lot of people want a lot of money for this. It's a beautiful cover. It's pretty expensive though. I think 9/8 are asking like 800, which is kind of insane. I'd say probably 500 is a more fair market value of it, but raws go for like 150 to 200, kind of like that Taguchi one. It's just really bad. And Wade, I know you read, and I know you read covers. I know you read me. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. You read me too. I couldn't find an actual cover of the second print of her ongoing series, but so I just put the cover or picture of the cover A, but the cover B or the second print is blue. And I know people kind of hate on like, oh, they didn't do differentiation between the covers on the second print, but I thought the blue one popped. And if I were to buy a cover or a book of hers, I like the blue second print. I think it's a cool cover, and it's like $20. There's a little bit of color rub on it, but like it displays really well. So if you're looking at Silk, I don't know a ton about her. I just know that she again is an Asian character, but I wanted to highlight her too because one, she's already in the Sonyverse. She's an Asian character. It's tough because you're kind of you're taking an original idea and just putting a different race on it, but it was kind of fun. But like if you're thinking like, oh, I want to invest in a modern female spider, like this is kind of the one to do, because the other ones are like Spider-Woman, she's expensive. Black Widow is expensive. Not Black Widow, Black Cat, she's expensive. She's a Spider-Man character, but Silk is a more modern, like 2000s kind of deal. So yeah, that's kind of where my head was at with this guy. Okay, Southpaw Brad, I've got another one for you. Hisako Ichiki Armor, a Japanese mutant. They use her a lot. Chief first appearance, Astonishing X-Men #4. Southpaw Brad, I think we should do an X-Men show. Think about it. And I need to talk to you about our other show that we have kind of ideas for. We'll talk offline sometime. So anyway, that's it for the characters. Now, Jason's fired. Jason, if you're watching, which you're not, you're fired. So I'll take that retainer back that I paid you. I need that. I need that comic book back. So you're fired. So anyway, so we are going to do the wheel. I'm going to get the wheel. And I'm just kidding. Jason's not fired, but no, it's all good. He's with family, which is what we should be doing right now. So if anyone wants to be part of the, oh shoot, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna put everybody in the giveaway. I'll just do 2 different giveaways. Because that's kind of, yeah, that won't work. Damn it. Okay. Anyway, okay. Who wants the Spider-Man book? I know, Brad. It's ridiculous. Just Marvel Man Comics. All right, Marvel Man Comics. Okay. Who else? Who wants this book? Marvel Man. Shop 4. Hold on. Shop 4. Okay. And then, okay, Gallon TV. G-Geek. Okay. Comic Tom be like. Brad. What else? Wayne John. Okay. Eduardo. Okay. Otis. Otis, can you name the first comic book that I talked about? No, I won't put you on the spot. I'm just kidding. Southpaw. Cave Drawings, can you name the first book, comic book that I talked about today? Otis is my man. Cool. All right. Let's see here. Michael Baker. Okay, I'm going through the list here real quick, guys. Give me a second. Okay. So I got 10 entries in the wheel. I'm going to share screen and just so it's all fair. Can you guys see that and tell me if everyone is on the wheel? Okay. Cave Drawings, I'll put you in the other drawing. I'm doing 2 giveaways today. Okay. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to grab the other giveaway. I'll be right back.
Go, cats, go. Go make appearance. Should play some music. Yeah. Really wish it.
Smells good.
It's the chicken.
Oh. Silver Samurai. John Smith, do you want to be part of this giveaway? Here it is. Okay. Oh, thanks, man. 206 subs. Yeah, if you guys yeah, I wish. Yeah, local pickup only on that one. Yeah, if you guys could sub and watch all my videos, actually is really what helps a lot. Yeah, just put out the word for it. I try and do giveaways every time just to reward you guys for listening and make sure you guys still like the show and all that good stuff. But I really appreciate you guys coming through on a Sunday. I know it's late for everybody, so oh, JC, I'll get you in there. Hold on. All right, here, hold on. Empire, I'm gonna put you in there too. Even though Empire got like 40 copies of that book. I know you did. I know you did. I know you got 40 copies, dog. Just kidding. Okay, so this is for the first Spider-Man. Cool. If no one else wants it, sign me up. Okay. John. Okay. We're gonna do this in 3, 2, 1 for the Spider-Man number 7. The new Miles Morales. Who knows? John Smith. That's it, bro. Congratulations. And then we're going to do one more. We're doing one more. And let's see. You got to show up tomorrow because I don't know if you guys even like this type of stuff. I'm going to give away these 2 books. This is my favorite childhood comic book from back in the day. And then I'm giving away this book. It's the Death of Doctor Strange, White Fox, origin of White Fox, and then how this guy becomes Lin Lee. But to get this, you're gonna have to come in the OTR show tomorrow. I'm putting the link in the YouTube there. So we have a link on YouTube and on Rumble as well. But if you guys are sports fanatics or fans, this is the first mention of Shohei Ohtani in a U.S. magazine or Sports Illustrated, at least. As far as I know, this is the first mention, not first cover appearance, but first mention of Shohei Ohtani in an American magazine. Now, just think about that. We always, as comic book collectors, we always think of first appearances, first mentions, whatever. Shohei Ohtani is a generational player. He is our generation's Babe Ruth. Now think about 10 years from now having this book, watching this dumb show, and being like, I got that book for free. Just think about that. But you have to come on to the OTR show tomorrow because if you don't know what the capability of this book, then I don't want to give it away to you. So anyway, thanks, Doc Joe. Does anyone want to be in the other than John Smith? Does anybody else want to be like Doc Joe? Do you want to be in the do you want to be in the giveaway for those 3 books? Thanks, man. I'm gonna see you one of these days, bro. And Doc Joe, I'm going to Oklahoma, and me, you, and Trey, and whoever, we're gonna hang out, man. I'm probably gonna come maybe in a year, right, wifey? Year and a half, something like that. Yeah. Gallon TV. Okay. I think you're already in, my friend. Yes, you're already in. Doc Joe, do you want in on this? Okay, cool. Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. Okay. So again, if you win, you still have to show up to the show tomorrow in the chat and just let me know. And then, whatever. I am late. Norman, do you want to be yeah. Okay. Norman, I got you in there. Norman Ras. Okay, cool. Here we go. So this is for the White Fox, my favorite comic book when I was a kid. And the first U.S. mention of Shohei Ohtani in a Sports Illustrated. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Ooh, can you hear it? Southpaw Brad, we'll see you tomorrow. I want to say congratulations to Southpaw Brad for these 3 books. You just got to come in through. Maybe bring a friend. Who cares? Whatever. Shohei Ohtani, first mention, all that good stuff. I'll highlight on the show tomorrow. And then John Smith, congratulations, man. You are the winner of the next Miles Morales. I'm just kidding. I don't know what this guy is, man. The hate is real on that comic book, though, for sure. But yeah, just come through. And again, everybody, thanks for coming through. Jason couldn't make it today. It was legit, like he was going through. He was having dinner with his friends and all that good stuff, or family. And thanks again for joining me late. I'm sorry we usually do these in the mornings, but I was out of town. But we got a good amount of people to come through. And again, I appreciate you all coming through. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, and we will see you next Sunday. I'll see you on OTR tomorrow. Link was in the chat there. And I love you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.